Hello and welcome to Local Rhythm, the show where we put you onto the hottest music from up-and-coming artists right here in South Florida. Today, I'm joined by the one and only OGNEILJAY, a Broward County artist whose work has been seen hundreds of thousands of times on social media, streamed by over 2,000 monthly listeners, and has gotten him on stage with one of hip-hop's biggest stars. Today, I'm going to talk to him about his career, what it takes to balance music and college, and his new EP, EXE Radio. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Of course. So let's start off, first of all, what's the name? Like OGNEILJAY, what's the inspiration for the name? When did you come up with it? And just tell me a little bit about that.
For sure, yeah. I'm gonna split it into two. So we got OG and then NEILJAY. People like split it into three, like OG or four, OGNEILJAY, because it's like the syllables and stuff. But for the OG, I was looking for a name during the era where everybody and their mom had the name Lil in front of it. So I was like, bro, let me do like the opposite of it. And I was looking for people and I was like, okay. I'm like, damn, OG would be fire. Like, because nobody calls themselves OG, especially because I'm a jit. So it's like, okay. I was like, bro, like 16. I'm like, bro, call me OG, though. That's nobody else was doing it.
16-year-old in Broward County.
Bro, like, what? Yeah. And then NEILJAY, there's this kid in my class. He had like it was like this Filipino kid, and he had his name was NEILJAY. And I was like, that's just a fire name. So I just had NEILJAY for a minute, and then I was just like, even though we were like literally in the same class, it was kind of weird, but screw it. But I just took the OG NEILJAY and then kept it on like SoundCloud, and I think it was unique enough to where it just stuck. And then that's how we got it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people I think would assume your name is either Neil or Jay, but NEILJAY is just some kid in your class in high school.
Basically, yeah. But people call me Jay. Everybody calls me Jay though.
Jay.
So yeah.
All right. So Jay, so you grew up here in Miami, Broward County, basically Miami. Did growing up in Miami inspire your music at all? And if so, how do you think the city or culture of Miami manifests into the music that you make?
Oh yeah, it's just I grew up listening to so much SoundCloud from artists from Broward. You know what I'm saying? Specifically Broward, and it was cool to see people that were, now looking at it in hindsight, relatively so young, you know what I mean? They were like my age, doing the numbers that they were doing, and just making music that was so boundary pushing and that have changed the music industry in general.
Obviously Miami is like, it's a huge city, very multicultural, very well known. So how did that influence your ability to find community and make connections? Before we started the show, we were talking about how community is so important, so I'm curious as to that.
I just be moving around, bro. I don't know, because it's like very, not counterintuitive, but it's just putting yourself in areas where just a little bit outside of your comfort zone, you know what I mean? Like I just started going to like, say for instance, I started going to DJ shows, because I'm not so deep into, I know a lot of DJs, but I'm not like totally in that scene. Say if I want to go over there, I'm just going to go over there. But not going over there looking for like opportunities and then I don't even know if that's a word, but like just looking for opportunities in general, where I'm trying to get something, because people can kind of tell when you're like, hey, what's up, and you're trying to meet the most important person. It's not really about that. It's about the community and the culture behind it, because these subsets of communities have culture, especially like because you got the rap stuff, the rap and stuff, and a little bit R&B, then you got some rock stuff, you got rock stuff with the old heads, then you got rock stuff with the young jits, and then it's just, there's different types of cultures, the way they dance, the way they move, do they dance, you know what I mean? What's the age, what's the different types of ethnicities these people are in. But I feel like no matter where I go, I kind of stand out, which is like, I don't know if I trained that or it's just who I am, probably both, but I just love all different types of art, all different types of music, everything.
Yeah, and I think that's really, I think that shows itself a lot in your music. When I was writing the intro to this, I had trouble saying whether you were a rap artist, a rock artist, an indie artist, because I feel like you just have so many influences in your music, whether you're doing an R&B song or you're doing some more like experimental pop stuff. So how would you categorize yourself, I guess?
Bro, I know everybody just says it now, and it's like, people say it and they're not even alternative or whatever. I'm alternative. I just like to keep it like that, because my biggest influences, they were never really boxed in like that. Maybe for their biggest hits, they were like, okay, this is like art pop or whatever, or, you know what I mean? But like, especially for this project, EXC Radio, that's coming out November 7th. I know you guys are seeing it in class or a professor, you know what I'm saying? If you're looking at it, you could tap in. But,
hey, by the time it's out, by the time this is out, the EP is probably out, so we'll include a link in the description of wherever we post this.
Fire.
Check it out for sure.
Yeah, but I would say the three main inspos for that project, and like that, I guess you could say my current music is not in order, but like Lenny Kravitz, Bjork, and maybe like just the whole hyperpop scene. I feel like that's a really big thing. But like basically all three that I mentioned, never, you listen to one album, then you listen to another one, you're like, how did they even do this? You know what I mean? It's like not being able to be boxed in and not being afraid to take that chance, you know? And I think that's what really stands out. Like, I just like to stand out, man. That's like, I can make it easy. I can make 10,000 Know You Nows. Like, that's one of my biggest songs. I can make like 10,000 of them, but like for what? If I'm not having fun with it, and if I'm not pushing myself to see like what type of sounds can I even make? Can I make sounds that I've not even heard before? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like looking through your Spotify, no two songs sound the same, which is something I think is really important for standing out as an artist. And I like that you mentioned those three artists as influences, because I would have never expected those three to even be brought up in the same sentence, let alone inspire the same album. So I thought that was really cool. I mean, especially you brought up hyperpop, which I know, have you heard of Danny Brown?
I love Danny Brown.
He's coming out with this album coming soon. It has a lot of hyperpop influences. He's got like a underscores feature, 2 Quedeca features, and
Jane's
like,
on it too.
Jane Remover for him to know, like, you know. So I thought that was really cool how you know, hip hop or R&B, indie stuff, everything is just kind of moving towards more experimental, like whatever the hyperpop scene kind of set off in the 2020s. But back to the past. Basically, we're doing episode 1 is the past, episode 2 is the present and the future. So in your past as a musician, you know. So what was your first release? How did you get started in music, and what inspired you to do that?
Oh no.
Bringing up the old stuff.
Oh no, it's not up anymore, unfortunately. But SoundCloud, man. SoundCloud. I'm a SoundCloud warrior, man. I was making meme music. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was making like music where it's supposed to be like bad. But I was having fun with this, so that's what really mattered in it. That was the same era where I was like, I'm trying to be a YouTuber. I feel like everybody was trying to be a YouTuber, but like, just SoundCloud. I would just drop a song, but I was still making projects. Like I was making like lots of projects actually. So I started taking it seriously, even though I was still taking it as a joke. I would like still get, you know what I'm saying, a certain amount of songs to be like, okay, this is fire. Let's put this out. And then I'm like, okay, let's put it out. Just on SoundCloud though. So that's how I started. I was like 14, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how a lot of people start, like, especially people who make, like, meme music or bad on purpose music. They eventually just get so good at it, and they're like, you know, I want to make serious stuff now. And they go and evolve like that, and I think that's really cool. So, but we already talked about who you listened to growing up and who inspired this project, but is there anyone else you want to shout out of who maybe you listened to that maybe you don't credit as explicitly as an influence, but just maybe have subconsciously influenced the way that you think of music in general? Anyone you were a big fan of growing up?
Really obvious one, because it's so current right now, and I feel like everybody's low-key inspired by him, even if you don't say it, but like, I'd say Tyler, Gorillaz for sure. I'm so Gorillaz. Like, if I could hashtag Gorillaz like on my body and then like get the tattoo removed like probably tomorrow, I'll probably do it. And then for sure Daft Punk, and then Mouse. There's a lot of people, but like the whole electronic house type of like those types of legends and stuff like that, where they're just versatile. They're versatile through everything. You hear one Daft Punk album, it doesn't sound like the other one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But it's still just as good, if not better, than the last one. You know, and it's amazing. It's like endless. It's like endless.
Evolving and iterating rather than just repeating what works.
Yeah.
You know?
Cause what's the fun in it? You know what I mean?
Pushing
like
boundaries.
The surprise. You know.
So, so talking about all these different inspirations, how do you balance, let's say, emulating what you're inspired by versus your own creative vision? Do you ever make something and go, oh, well, this sounds too much like this sounds too much like this? How do you stand yourself apart from being like a hodgepodge of different artists that you grew up listening to and being your own thing?
To be honest with you, when I record, I guess I've just been recording for so long now that it's like playing an instrument or something like that. Like as you get better and better and better, you kind of get like a sixth sense to where it's just like you can kind of be on autopilot and you don't really have to think as hard. And I think that once you get like that flow state of anything, in any types of art, if you're graphic designing or whatever, or doing anything, once you hit that point where it's just like you're not thinking about it and you're just like you're just moving. But like it's okay if you go all the way out here and do something that's insane where you would never do it because you're just in that mode. I don't know. I don't think I like if it sounds like something that I've made or I'm listening to that's not me. I'll be like, okay, it sounds like that, but I think that internal filter of like that every artist has is a bit different. You know what I mean? And when I make something, it's still gonna come out different, even if I use the same chords, or like the inspiration is really, really there. I feel like I'm really big on my vocal inflections, and I feel like that makes it different too. Because like vocally, I have a good amount of different bags. You know what I mean? Like I got deep voice, falsetto, got some weird stuff I could probably do, just making sounds. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't really think when
I'm sure we'll hear plenty of that on the new EP
Most
coming
definitely.
out November 5th. So next time on Local Rhythm, we'll be continuing our conversation with Jay about balancing college and a music career, how to turn music into a source of income, and how he landed an incredible opportunity to open for a rap superstar. Thank you for listening.